Hello, my name's Bill Calhoun. I'm the owner of ServiceMaster Restore Oakville. We're here at this fire-damaged townhome complex to take you behind the scenes of what contractors, property managers, and insurance representatives should do after a disaster strikes. We'll also cover what emergency response planning can be done for property managers and condo boards before a disaster strikes. In this particular case, there was determined cause by the fire marshal. When we were called in, we were expected to secure the perimeter, set up emergency hoarding for the front of this building, which was destroyed by fire, and provide shoring for structural damage, working with an engineer. Emergency response planning starts with collaboration between the building manager and the emergency response contractor, who, besides the fire department, may be one of the first responders. It also starts with understanding how insurance policy coverage will work. At a major fire, the fire department may take 24 hours or longer before they have completed extinguishing the fire, checking for hotspots, and then releasing the scene. Electrical, gas, and perhaps even water services will all be shut down by the fire personnel and/or utility authorities. The fire marshal will complete their own investigation into the cause of the fire. Often the investigation on the cause of the fire takes extended days if the building is unsafe and/or debris needs to be moved out to uncover a source where the fire did start. It's very unusual, but on this particular townhome fire, the exact cause could not be determined. It was, however, found to have originated in the garage. The work that the emergency contractor may have to do at the beginning of a fire response could include 9 or more responsibilities that may be applicable. 1. Secure site perimeter with fencing and shore up any structural damage. 2. Board up openings into the building and install hoarding or roofing over the building. 3. Restore services such as partial electricity, temporary power, and heat. And in the winter, this is especially important to prevent freeze up of the water supply. 4, and I want to emphasize this, ensure the source area is undisturbed until the insurance company decides if further forensics are needed beyond the fire marshal's investigation. Almost always this is the case. The reason this is so important in commercial buildings is this may allow your insurance company to subrogate and recover significant expense if the source and/or those responsible can be officially determined. Most fire causes can be determined. We have seen many cases like dryer fires where hundreds of thousands in cost recoveries, including the huge condo deductible, all have been recovered through subrogation. The subrogation may be or could be to a dryer manufacturer in the case of a dryer fire. It's important to note that unit owners cannot subrogate against each other or to the condominium. However, a condo insurer may be in a position to choose to subrogate to recover their costs, and not just from manufacturers. Being aligned with a specialized fire emergency contractor and making your emergency fire response plan, as we will cover later, may help facilitate successful cost recovery, either by the insurer or the ability of the corporation to charge back up to the deductible to a source unit. And this is regardless, with or without going through insurance. 5. Remove excessive water from fire suppression. 6. Be available to stay on site until security for the building can be arranged. Also be on site for the fire watch until fire alarms can be reestablished. This is important for less affected units or businesses that can remain. 7. Assist in determining what additional professional experts may be needed, such as structural engineer, environmentalists for hazardous materials, etc. Again, as covered in the last segment of this video, ideally, if there are hazardous building materials, there is a survey contained within the emergency fire response plan. And along with this, number 8, emergency contractors take the lead to do photo documentation, and certainly 3D imaging is the new standard. Here on this townhome fire, you can see how fire and smoke has ravaged throughout each floor and room, and the source area was in the garage. 9. Properly assessing the fire burn damage to building materials and the extent of smoke migration. When a building catches fire, several materials burn, including plastics. Inevitably, there is incomplete combustion. Along with extreme heat, this is causing pressure and forces smoke to migrate throughout the building. Stubborn odors can permeate through HVAC systems, wall and ceiling and floor cavities, and into neighboring units and additional spaces of a commercial building. Other steps that emergency fire response contractors should be able to perform to mitigate the fire and smoke damage include media blasting and smoke sealing. And that smoke is forced in every crook and cranny you can imagine because of the heat that's generated in a fire causes smoke, odor, and particulate to permeate through the building. If you don't uncover all of the exposed areas and get to this type of smoke that you see here, is that when heat and humidity comes back into the home, that smell of smoke will come back. We have covered the highlights to explain the expected responsibilities in fire response between managers and the contractor.